The name Pea Patch commemorates the Picardo family who operated a truck farm in the Wedgwood area in the early 20th century. In the early 1970s, the family let a neighbor use a portion of their property to start a community garden to grow food for people impacted by the economic recession. The community garden space was initially managed by Puget Consumers Co-op, and we know it now as PCC Community Markets. The experiment was so successful that the Picardos eventually sold the remainder of the farm to the city of Seattle, becoming the city's first pea patch. Today, the Pea Patch program has grown to serve more than 3,500 households in 90 gardens located in neighborhoods throughout Seattle. We're in every nook, every neighborhood, from far north to far south. Pea patches are everywhere. In order to be truly inclusive and a reflection of all the different demographics, we started thinking about other ways we can, make the program more equitable. And that meant rolling up our sleeves and really discussing policy change. This is not a program of privilege or entitlement. If you want to grow your own food, herbs, if you need a place to find solace, if you want to teach your youth, if you want to commingle with nature, if you want to get along with your neighbors, this is for you as well. We started thinking about the wait lists. And so we developed a policy around anyone who self-identifies as BIPOC, low income, youth and senior group, immigrant, refugee, cannot wait.
I'm from Africa, Ethiopia. Once upon a time we came here and we see different vegetables. We thought at that time, this one is maybe for citizens, not for us. We came to the shade here and we see welcome in my language. Here are different communities, very friends. We help each other. We respect each other. We love each other.
I have been gardening here is about 5 years. I came from a small landlocked country just called Laos. I'm the only one of my family who's been here. That's why I try to plant and grow something to remind myself about back home. Make me remember about my family back there, and we have a good family time here. Come stop by, water, and then play, and they help me something. I think perfect family time.
This is a perfect way to interact with people who don't look like you, that maybe not even talk like you. Just growing vegetables can get people into talking to each other. Who knows, at some point, hey, I'd like you to, would you like to come over to my house and have dinner? Or you bring some of your vegetables, I'll bring some of mine, and then that's how you build them bridges and trust.
When we started doing infrastructure improvements, we did a whole matrix, and one was accessibility.
One of the things about accessibility in gardening is how do we get people into the garden who have physical limitations? Over 40 years, the garden had gotten shaped in a way that made it really hard to be useful and consistent and equitable for people. So 2009, 2010, we began to talk more about accessibility. The goal was get the raised bed area up to speed. And we would make the entire perimeter of the gardens an ADA path and the center X. So into the patio and radiating out north, south, east, and west, you have a path. We have a wheelchair gardener, and we have a couple seniors, and we have one person who's younger but who has mobility challenges. What we have to also remember too in this is you might get around just fine, but you can't bend over. You have knee issues, you have spine issues, you have all these kinds of things. So some of our gardeners, if you just saw them walking down the street, you'd have no idea they were in our enabled bed area. We all arguably need respite in the city. This is an irreplaceable thing. You need these places. That's all part of the accessibility puzzle. It's not just physical challenge. It's not just cognitive challenge. It's how do we address the needs of a broad and diverse community.
My name is Charity Ranger, and I've been gardening, I think this is my 4th year. I have ataxia, which is neurological. It affects my coordination. So it just gets a bit worse and a bit worse. For me, it means like my world gets a little bit smaller. Being part of this gardening community has really opened up, like, I feel like regardless of my disability, I can be a valuable member of this community.
True to its origins, the Pea Patch program continues to grow food for those in need and focuses on supporting low-income, historically underserved community members.
The Pea Patch program is all about giving and has always been a giving to the community program. And almost every Pea Patch has a giving garden, which is a designated space where food is grown specifically to go out into the greater community. We transitioned last year, and instead of donating produce to food banks, we're working on creating a neighborly hospitality connection with this beautiful produce. So we now have dedicated donations partnerships. They all serve folks who are either low income or immediate immigrant neighbors. And so these folks will often be lined up waiting for our delivery drivers to put out our produce on their tables. And then in their own community, with dignity and with joy, they have the ability to shop for beautiful, organic, incredibly fresh produce. And they're so grateful to receive it. And then they have a face to us and names to us, and we have a face to them and names to them.
And in the time frame that I've been here, it's just such a blessing, not even just for just residents, but staff alike. So when staff here at Sandpoint taking the produce and speaking about what a benefit it is, and they're seeing us actually use that, I'm having lunch and eating the lettuce or eating the kale or squash, different things, that it's really encouraged the kids to do the same. Just us educating them on like the benefits of like not only eating this kind of food, but like the work put in, there's also labor that's done, at Picardo Farms. And so understanding that someone worked to not only grow this, create it, but also to bring here to us. We also have gardens in the back of the South building, which I've seen some of our residents, the children, go out there and like join their parents and help the volunteers. And so I feel like Picardo has really like created another like branch, an avenue of not only positivity, but another opportunity to like maybe redirect what I'm doing, redirect my decision making, and do something more like creative, more productive. And so not only eating healthier, but making better decisions too.
All of this is very exciting and brings meaning to a program that might otherwise just be institutional charity. Now all of a sudden we have neighbors that we care about and also care about us and are asking us to be partners with them and bring us into their community. The entire thing is a beautiful relationship network that we're just now starting to build.
I'd like to see more community gardens bubble up. We understand capacity is real, right? We don't have the funding, we don't have all the staff, but we can definitely act as a consultant for organizations that want to build their own community garden. The other thing is emergency preparedness. You know, how do we all work together to start thinking about that? You know, and climate change, we see it impact us every year. And every year it just gets bigger and badder. So how do we start coalescing and coming together? I really want to see civic engagement, but I think there are many opportunities to work together and do some cross-pollination and getting people to learn from each other and taking that energy and changing it and building on it and empowering each other and helping each other. And I want to see more of that.